Well, this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, experimenting with a little bit of music, which is called the Zohar para relaxar. It says Zohar Música para relaxar. So those of you who speak Spanish, I notice there's a bunch of people who speak Spanish. Yo puedo hablar un poquito español. I do the best I can. Now we're over here with Rabbi Mimran. Rabbi Mimran is about to start a special place here. It's an area understanding the spiritual world, and he's going to start going into some deeper stuff. Let's hear what he has to say. This is a piece called Interconnectedness. He says, and you'll be surprised at what he's going to do here. He says, Quantum Mechanics and modern physics. And I've had a chance to speak with people who have a background in physics. They love this stuff because it all fits into their perspective. That's the whole thing. So he speaks about this, and this is a little bit longer that we're going to get into now. It's because we're going to have some stuff to learn. Your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. On a simple level, this can be understood by seeing everything red through a red pair of glasses. When you are in a bad mood, the entire world seems negative. Therefore, your consciousness, combined with your perspective, creates the world that you inhabit. One of the greatest insights that has come out of modern physics is that of the unity between the observer and the observed. Now, he's going to get into things that have to be thought about. The person conducting the experiment, the observing consciousness, cannot be separated from the observed phenomena. In other words, there's subjectivity involved in it because people are looking at it. Now, let me look at it. Let me go over here. And a different way of observing causes the observed phenomenon to behave differently. If you believe on a deep level in separation and the struggle for survival, then you will see that belief reflected all around you, and your perceptions will be governed by fear. You'll inhabit a world of struggle, fighting, killing, and destruction. Now, let me see if I can get this lined up a little bit better. I think it goes if I go that way. So he says, nothing is what it seems to be. The world that you create and see through the egoic mind may seem a very imperfect place. It is how your consciousness interprets and reacts with the molecular structure of the universe. Now listen to those words. He's saying that all of these things are combined. This energy is the raw material of the so-called physical reality. Physicists have proven that there is no true solidity in this world, since it all is made up of a molecular dance of particles, giving the appearance that it is solid matter. But seen through a powerful microscope, 1,000,000 times the power of the eye will reveal this fact to all non-believers. An infinite number of completely different interpretations and completely different worlds is possible and in fact exists, all depending on the perceiving consciousness, yet all worlds are ultimately one. Now that sounds like it's a contradiction in terms. Every being is a focal point of consciousness, and every such focal point creates its own perceived world, although all those worlds are interconnected. Now, he's saying that since I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, I'm going to have a different perspective than somebody else. But at the same time, it says all of those worlds, because every single person is born somewhere else, come from a different ethnic background, different Weltanschauung. But he says, nonetheless, all the worlds are interconnected. Simply put, we are all individual worlds, as stated in the Mishnah in Sanhedrin. Saving one life is like saving an entire world. Nevertheless, we are all interdependent, one to the other, as stated by Chazal in Shavuos in 39a. Kol Yisrael Ravim Zeh B'Zeh L'Zeh. All the Jews all of the people of Israel are interconnected, one to the other. There is a human world, an animal world, a plant world, and so on and so forth. There are countless beings whose generic makeup is so different from yours that you are probably unaware of their existence as they are of yours. On the other hand, highly conscious beings can sense their interconnectedness with the source of and all things within. Now, the word was their connectedness with the source and all things within. Now, the source, I think he means the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Our collected human world is largely created through the level of consciousness we call mind. Even within the collective human world, there are vast differences, many different subworlds, depending on the receivers or the creators of their respective worlds. Since all worlds are interconnected, when collective human consciousness becomes transformed, nature and the animal kingdom will reflect the transformation. Hence the statement by the prophet Isaiah that in the coming age the wolf and the lamb will feed together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox, and dust will be the serpent's food. They will neither harm nor destroy on my entire holy mountain, says Hashem. This points to a completely different order of reality. So he said, when we speak of a gap in your mental stream, a state of no mind, we are not describing any kind of trance-like state. So again, the word is trance-like state. In separating ourselves from our thoughts and simply listening to them, there is no loss of consciousness whatsoever. In fact, the very opposite is true. If the cost of peace would be a lowering of your consciousness, the cost of stillness was a lack of vitality and alertness, then peace and stillness would not be worth having. In this ideal state of interconnectedness that we are aiming for, you are actually much more alert, more awake than you could ever be in that other, more common state of identifying with your mind. When you are connected with yourself, you are fully present. So let me just get a little bit up here and see if we can see it better. It has been proven by physicists that everything in the universe has a particular vibration. Everything vibrates at its own specific frequency. We compare this to radio waves. Choosing a station will depend on the frequency of that wave you are turning into. He says tuning into. Vibrational frequencies are similar. Scientists have shown, though, many laboratory tests that the unseen world or the subatomic world of quantum mechanics can raise or lower one's vibratory frequency simply by one's thoughts. The faster the vibration, the more unseen or spiritual a person or object becomes. So in other words, if you're vibrating slowly, you're much more physical. And if you're vibrating quickly, then the vibration would be on a higher level. Moreover, raising one's frequency raises the vibrational frequency of the surrounding energy that gives life to one's physical body. So the changes within yourself that have to do with the frequency, he's saying, also change the energy that surrounds you and affects your body. So it is certainly worthwhile to think, feel, and act in ways that will raise one's frequency. One way to significantly raise your vibrational frequency is to reach more deeply into the realm of no mind and achieve a state of pure consciousness devoid of any extraneous trappings. In that state, you feel your own presence with such intensity and such joy that all thinking, all emotions, even your physical body, in fact, the entire external world, become relatively insignificant in comparison to what you were experiencing. This is Baruch Fleischman. This is the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.